I'm Clem,
I'm Harry,
and welcome back to the Audio Bros.
where we discuss all things audio.
And today, you guys asked for a $100 challenge to build a setup similar to what we did before, so we thought we'd deliver on that, didn't we?
We did. So, as much as you guys said $100, because we live in the UK, we said we'd do £100 British, but with a twist. And that twist was we're going to do it on eBay
Exactly.
instead of Amazon.
Yes, we're going to do it on eBay because obviously it's going to make stuff cheaper, and
It
also
also means it's probably going to come broken.
yeah, and so we're also not going to include cables or any of that sort of stuff, since as you can pick those up for really cheap on eBay or pretty much anywhere anyways. Like we both proved, you can get them for under almost under 15 quid. So
Oh,
yeah,
definitely.
and to be honest, a lot of this gear that I picked anyway, you could probably find a speaker wire in your house, or you could probably ask a neighbour or something to get it anyway. It's all good. And as far as my setup, I've actually got I've sort of got two little setups going. As in, I've got one where I've got I've got some stuff, and some of the listings are really sort of realistic prices, and I've got some other stuff where the listings are slightly unrealistic price, and you'd have to be really lucky to get it for that. But I'll
Right,
say all that at the end.
the
Yeah,
question I have is how many items do you have?
I have.
That's a good number. Have is a good number.
I have 8 items. However, a lot of them are separate things. You'd usually be able to get them sort of together as
Eight
a bundle.
items. Oh
Yeah,
no.
you'd be able to get there's two you can there's two and then another two that you can put together that you'd normally get as a pair. So
Have
realistically,
you
you've
got
got
eight items
six.
for £100?
Okay, it's eBay, mate. I mean, some
Whose
of them are.
weenie have you been sucking? What have you done for £100, mate?
Yeah,
I've got three,
yeah,
and I'm £4 over budget.
yeah.
You take the mic.
I've surprised you guys. I've actually got you the starter studio setup. Like this is
Right, you go first then. Do your
right,
whole setup. You go
my
all of yours, and I'll do mine through those.
my whole setup.
Yeah, your whole setup. Do it all. I want to know everything you've got, so I can know how badly I've lost.
Right. Okay. All right. So yeah, I don't. You don't know whether you have lost though, because some of this stuff's really cheap and crap.
Wait, I've
But
lost. If you've got eight fucking things, it doesn't matter if they're good or not. Yeah. Eight different things. One of them has to work.
yeah, yeah. I mean, so what I've got here is I've got as the speakers or the monitors in my case, because obviously it's a music production setup. I've got a pair of SN10 Studio Spares SN10 studio monitors, which are basically they're a bit like a
I
Yamaha
don't like them.
NS10. They're like an NS10 sort of remake thing. Because they've got low end, this has been paired with a Panasonic subwoofer. Now, as far as the actual quality of the subwoofer or the monitors, I've never used them. I've heard good things about the SN10, so they're quite good apparently, but the subwoofer could be trash. Still,
They're just fun.
saying that they're good monitors and they'll be reasonably flat and they'll work, and for under 100 quid, mate, you can't complain, since as to buy one of the speakers that we did last time on my challenge, it would cost you 120.
Yeah,
you know,
mine were nearly 250 just for the speakers.
yeah,
Can I chime
exactly.
in real quick?
Yeah,
Right.
go on.
Panasonic subwoofer.
Yeah, Panasonic subwoofer. It
Is it
doesn't.
battery powered?
Is it bad? It doesn't list what it is. It looks active and it looks like a subwoofer, but I mean it just says SN10 studio monitors with Panasonic subwoofer, condition almost new. As
Oh, they're
the
all part of
thing.
the same listing.
Yeah, they're all part of the same listing. Yeah, for 60 quid.
Ew,
Yeah,
that's
60
gross.
quid. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, and that you're actually going to get it for that because the monitors themselves are about 100 quid, and their subwoofer, I don't
Yeah,
have a
you're right.
clue. You
The
get it for around that.
monitors I agree with. As much as I don't like the SN10s,
Yeah, SN10s. Yeah,
as much as I don't like them because I don't like them.
yeah,
They're still decent. They're decent for that. Definitely 60
yeah.
quid. It's
They're
just them on
flat.
their own.
Yeah,
Like Clem said, they're 100 quid. That
yeah,
that Panasonic sub, I would throw that out the window the second I got it.
yeah.
You know,
I mean, personally, I don't think I really use that. Sort of the SN10s and stuff. but I put it on here because they're really good, and obviously a lot of people would, like those the type of things. Like I think Yamaha, they're brilliant, and I suppose if you're actually doing like setting up a studio, then yeah, I mean I guess I'd use them then. So yeah, I would use them, but I wouldn't use them personally at home. Because of I prefer a different type of speaker sound, and to rest those on, we have the Gravity GSP 3202 studio monitor speaker stand. They're brand new in the box, but some of the packaging is slightly damaged, but the items themselves are absolutely fine. It says in the description. And with those speaker stands, it already has isolating foam on them. However, from what I can see, in the other listing of the speakers, they have their own isolation foam with them. So either way, you're going to have isolation from the actual floor and from the stand. So that's absolutely brilliant. There's not much else to say about these stands apart from they can hold the weight of it, and they're reasonably big, and they look at half decent quality. Yeah.
What did I say about no speaker stands?
Yeah.
What did I say? Did you just completely ignore that?
Yeah, they were cheap. I just thought
this guy's chatted was. Let me just completely ignore everything he says. Right, let's do. Right, okay, we've got speaker stands, even though he said no speaker stands because I'm a dickhead. Right.
Yeah, no, I've got some speaker stands because I thought you had to have them. If you have monitors, you've got to have these, and these also they're quite.
Listen,
these are
it's
big
an audio
monitors.
program, and it come into my fucking speaker stands.
Yeah, no, they're big. They're genuine. They're quite big monitors and physical size. So you're going to need stands. You're probably not going to be able to fit them like on a desk type thing. So I include these for that reason. Why?
Third, and you've now got premium sounding speaker stands, so you're welcome.
Yeah. And so third, this is where stuff can change, and the rest of this stuff is almost just sort of stuff that can be sort of changed and all that sort of stuff. We have a Motu 8 channel mic preamp. And a Firewire interface included, so it is an audio interface as well as got preamps and stuff in it. Now this is £8.50, however I doubt it would go for this.
So that's mad.
Yeah, it is. I doubt it would go for that though, so I've also included, if you take out all the rest of the stuff that I'm about to say after this and replace that, there's a listing for a Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 for £35, and that would still keep you under budget, and that would be your setup sort of thing. But if you were lucky to get this interface, then I've got this other stuff with it. So we've got a adapter here for £1.19, as you're going to need a Firewire to USB adapter, unless your computer has the Firewire. But most of you guys will be using newer systems and that, so And as far as this is like the whole sort of studio bundle, I've got a pair of headphones as well. Now Harry, you're going to go crazy at this, right?
God,
the listing.
Man.
No, the listing will never go for this. It'll never go for this. I just thought I'd add these in for a bit of fun. So we've got for £4.20, we've got the Audio Technica. Yeah. ATH.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
M50. Yeah.
Fuck
M50s.
off.
They're in the box. They've got all the cables with them. They're limited edition ones. I've tried these. I don't really personally like them. I didn't like them when I used them. But again, a lot of people do.
Red ones?
Yeah, red ones, yeah.
£4.50? Link me that now.
Yeah, £4.20. It's £4.20. It's £4.20. I'll send it to you.
Give it.
I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you once we finish the podcast.
That's gas, man. I'm buying some Audio Techniques.
It ends in 3 days and 4 hours, so I doubt you get it for that much. But you never know. You may get it for reasonably cheap. I don't know. And then after that, we've got a microphone. So this, you probably would get it for this. You've got a Tom and T-Bone SE450 large diaphragm condenser, really good for recording vocals or podcasts or whatever. And that comes with its own cradle and box, which is awesome, for £6.50. So it's decent. And then with that, I've got a really cheap sort of a desk stand. We couldn't afford a proper huge mic stand along with it, because that would be really, really expensive. So I've just gone for a cheap desk stand, and that is £4.30. That I've checked, you can attach the mic cradle to it, which is awesome. So you've got less vibrations and all that sort of stuff. And with all of that, you have a MIDI keyboard, which this is 99p. So you're probably going to get it, to be fair. If not, you probably get it for a tiny bit more expensive. Got 5 days, 10 hours left. It's really old. It's a Roland ED-PC300 USB MIDI keyboard, 49 key, so you'll be able to do all this stuff. It is ancient though. I don't know the age of this thing, but my guess it's probably like mid-2000s, early 2000s. It is old, it looks really old. The condition of it isn't the best. I mean, it looks in half decent condition. I mean, it'll work with the majority of your software, as I'm assuming. You know, but it is cheap and it works, and you know, for 99p you can't really complain.
I'm not about, mate. That's what 10 Freddos.
Yeah, it's about 10 Freddos. Yeah,
Come on, mate. You can't.
yeah.
What would you prefer to have? 10 Freddos or that? I think I'll pick the Freddos, but I'm just a fat bastard.
I would,
So.
I would as well. To be honest, I mean, if I didn't have a MIDI keyboard, I'd probably choose this. Yeah, 10 Freddos. I mean, yeah, it's not bad. I mean, it doesn't look awful, and it says it's working as well, which is nice. It's actually working. The title, you know. Yeah, all these. That's pretty much sort of the whole sort of setup thing. So either you've got the monitors with the sub, the stands, and a Focusrite 2i2, or if you manage to get this Moto interface, which is insane, for that insane price, you could also be getting your adapter, ATH M50Xs, the mic, and the mic stand, and the MIDI keyboard. But obviously those listings will change over time, and you probably find new listings and stuff like that. But I reckon for £100 you could probably get those. You'd definitely be able to get those monitors for £100. Definitely be able to get the stand for under £100, and you'd definitely be able to get an interface for under £100. And then you'd just be deciding how much budget you need for like sort of the rest of the setup, basically. So if you need to save up a bit more, I reckon you could probably get a really cheap pair of headphones, for probably like 90p at a boot sale or whatever. You're probably bound. You could probably get this mic, I reckon, with that budget. If that with that, it was £6.50, and there's always cheap mics for sale. There's always cheap XLR mics for sale anywhere. There's eBay. There's everywhere. It's all for sale, really, really cheap. Same as stands and MIDI keyboards. They go up a lot as well because there are a lot of them. They're cheap and they work almost in the same way every single one, to be honest. So whatever one you get, it's just going to be luck of the pot, really. And if you get a good one for good money, great. If you don't, then just deal with it and save up for a better one or a new one, really. I mean, yeah, that's my setup though. So yeah, I mean, I think these. I
Is
think
that all of it?
yeah, I think it's a solid setup because
Yeah.
you got half decent pair of monitors that they reproduce sound in a way that's good for creating music. You got yourself an interface, and you got yourself some stands for those monitors. So that's pretty much sort of what we've done, ticked off. And if you wanted music software, just use DaVinci's Resolve. It's a video editing software, or just use a free music software. There are loads of them out there, to be honest. Just find one that you think looks good and what works for you and whatever you do. Yeah, I mean that's sort of my setup and everything like that. But I'm excited to hear yours because you saying earlier you got an awesome one.
Yeah, mine's pretty mad, dude. I did when we was setting up to do this challenge. We originally was going to do it on Facebook Marketplace, and I was finding absolute trash, mate. I was like, "Nah, this is garbage."
Yeah.
And then we hop on eBay, and I'm like, "Right, okay. I want to see if I can do something that I haven't done before that I am currently trying to do with my actual setup."
Yeah.
So we have some really cool stuff. I have tower speakers, I have a subwoofer, and I have an amplifier.
Oh yeah.
And
Nice.
these tower speakers and subwoofer are they're sick, and the amplifier is sick. And
Yeah.
you'll hear a
Oh.
theme throughout this, man, because it's really cool.
Also, just to
You ready?
interject, sorry, yeah, give me 1 second, just to interject quickly. The total of all of that stuff with a big setup, would be £95 and 68p the entire of that. So again, you got a bit of leeway, for if any of those
you've
items
done
go
me
on sale or
then.
whatever. Yeah, so you got yourself, probably about 10 Fredders, whatever. I don't know, 5-10 Fredders.
Bollocks.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So, yeah, the first thing I'm going to introduce to you guys is the Cambridge Audio S70 floor standing speaker.
Oh yeah.
Now,
Nice, yeah.
Cambridge Audio makes some really good products, man, and they're known for being bulletproof. Like they seriously do last yonks. Like they'll outlast your family. Well, like it's proper mad. And
they're all
these are listed as a biff starting at £10. Now I messaged the guy, so I was like, look, I don't want to wait this time. What if I wanted to buy it now? What would it cost me? And he originally said about I think it was £35, and I said, if I give you 25, would you take it if I pick them up? And he goes, yeah, sure. So,
Yeah.
£25 for those Cambridge Audio S10 tower speakers, and they are mad, man. Like, they're really cool looking
Yeah.
things. You'll be seeing a picture of them on screen now, anyway.
Yeah, we
And-
both messaged the people for our
Yeah.
listings, but some of them didn't. Some of them replied, some of them didn't. No one replied on mine.
Yeah, exactly.
But
That guy replied. And then there was another one for I got another Cambridge Audio product. 'Cause I'm keeping it in the family,
Yeah.
right? We have the Cambridge Audio S90. So it is the same series of speaker as the last one. It's part of the S series. This is the S90, and it's a
Yeah.
subwoofer. So they go perfectly, and Cambridge Audio make their products. They frequency match them. So where the tower speakers fall off is where the subwoofer picks up, and
Yeah.
you can adjust these things. But from factory is the best setting for all of this because it does it itself.
Yeah.
And that was £51, and that guy didn't respond, but it had 48 minutes left, and I reckon that's not going to change.
Yeah, my
So
my people didn't. I don't think my people either knew or cared or.
no, I don't give a shit,
I
mate.
don't
No,
somehow don't
eBay's
think
hard.
that. Yeah, that Panasonic subwoofer. I don't think that has the same roll off as the monitors. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. It may be a thing where
You
it's
could be
exactly the
wrong.
same. I could be wrong, but
It could be a perfect match. You just don't know.
it could be, but I don't know. I don't know.
Right. So I know for a fact already. I feel like I'm a little bit better off speaker-wise than you are, just because these are made by the same company for exactly each other to pair with. So
Oh yes, yeah, yeah.
that's a pretty good standing. Now, for amplifiers, you could pair this up to anything and it would sound pretty good because these speakers are made to work with each other. But I thought, why not push it a bit? So we have for amplifiers a Cambridge Audio A5 integrated amplifier, right?
Yeah,
And
no.
it's a black integrated amplifier, and it was 33 quid. And then this person I messaged, had 1 day left. It was 33 quid, and I said, would it be alright if I bought it now, and can I come get it, all that stuff? And they said, yeah, fine. And then so we did all that stuff, and yeah, 33 quid. So I have a full Cambridge Audio setup for 30, not for 30 quid, sorry. I have a full Cambridge Audio setup for about 104 quid, if my calculations are right.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. That's definitely not bad at all.
104 quid, man. That's mad for
Yeah.
hi-fi stuff. I've got tower speakers, man. That's sick, and the subwoofer, and the amplifier that pairs them all together. So the best way of looking at this is they make all of these products to fit with each other. The amplifier is also part of it's the A series, but it works with S series. So with amplifiers made by Cambridge Audio, they have the a selection switch on the back. With if you use one of their products, you can actually flip a switch on the back. If it's the S series, the A series, or the D series for Cambridge Audio, you can
Yeah.
actually select what series of thing you're using if it is something that is one of their products, and it will adjust to that, so it gives you the perfect frequency response match for the product you're using. So being as I have two Cambridge Audio things, and I knew that was a feature, I was like, let me get a Cambridge Audio amplifier, and it will make the whole thing. So this is going to be as good as you can get from Cambridge Audio
Yeah.
for the price range, for 100 quid. And
Yeah,
I
Cambridge Audio
cannot
itself.
believe that.
Yeah, it's awesome, and I mean, obviously, as you guys will see on the thing, they look cool as well. I mean, it's really cool that you managed to pair everything up as well, which is incredibly difficult to do when buying stuff secondhand, and
Especially for 100
especially
quid.
yeah, especially at a low price range as well, because it's just luck of the pot really, and that's one of the things also that I'd like to say is definitely when you're buying stuff secondhand. Depending on what it is, I'd say you probably need to go there and test it out, especially with speakers. Make sure that they're working to their 100% before you buy them. Obviously, stuff's going to differ with all this COVID stuff at the moment, but when times get more normal, make sure you do test stuff out before you go and buy it, unless it's either really, really cheap and you don't care, or that it's going to work and they're pretty bulletproof stuff, because there's a high chance you can buy a pair of speakers or a pair of headphones and they'll arrive at your door and either they don't work or they're crackling or anything like that. But
Amazon.
yeah, yeah. Even from new, like I've had pairs of headphones that haven't worked from brand new from Amazon and places like that. So that's pretty crap. But if you got yourself that keyboard that I bought, like it's 99p. If that doesn't work, then to be honest, what's the point? It doesn't really
Yeah,
matter. Yeah.
at that point, it's more for the experience, mate. Like if it's broken, it can't be something too serious, and if it is, it costs you 99p to find out. It's not the end of the world, is it?
No.
You
no.
make that back in like 4 seconds of working what you're doing. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The cool thing is, right? We both have keyboards, different ones, and
do,
I don't know about Clem, but I know for a fact I can tear this thing apart, put it back together, which I have had to do many fucking times because it is the Yamaha. They're cool, but they're not the most reliable.
Yeah, with my one,
So-
yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, to be honest, though, your one, ours, they're built for slightly different purposes. My one, you might
Yeah,
be able to take
definitely.
it apart, but at the same time, there's not much inside it that really can go wrong because it's literally just like it's just like electrics going. It's not in it. There's no. It's like an SSD. You know, there's no hard
Yeah.
drive. You know, I think it's literally just what it is. You know what I mean? It's just like a circuit board basically. It's like a motherboard inside it. You know, there's not really much to go wrong. If it does go wrong, you know, then you know, I don't know whether you probably fix it, but it would be, well, I don't know. You
My
could try
big
and fix it,
keyboard
but you know, it's not
has
really going to go wrong.
four. My big keyboard has four 500 gig hard drives in, and they snap, and you hear them when you turn it on, and that's what stores all of the stuff in. Because there's probably another video we've had this in, or one we will say it in. But yeah,
Yeah,
my keyboard's a bit weird and does some cool stuff. But about them headphones you were saying that you found, right? The Audio
yes,
Technicas.
yeah, yeah.
Send me the bloody link for them, man. You
I
know I
will.
bought headphones.
Yeah, I will. Yeah,
That's sick. That's so cool.
I doubt they'll. Honestly, I doubt they'll go for that. But I decided to include all this stuff anyway, just in case, you know, because you do get lucky sometimes. Like I've had stuff before where I was like, oh yeah, that's a really good deal, and you go for it. You know, it's a bit of a price down. You never get it, and then you bid on something or something. You know, you think, oh, I'll never get that, and you end up winning it. You know, like you get surprised sometimes. So I included that in there. So you could have sort of two choices of setup. So you've got one that's more definitive, whereas you're going to get that for around that price for around 100 or you know a bit less, or you know with stuff again the stuff that I've showcased, you can get other gear along with it for very cheap. And even if you do have gear, you can get. I mean, all of the gear apart from the interface, the speakers and the speaker stands, you could all sorry, and the headphones, you could pick all that up, you know, sort of those or similar for, you know, under 20 quid. And I mean, if you get a mic and a stand and a MIDI keyboard for under 20 quid, that's not bad. And it does go to show that you can get value for money buying second hand as long as the stuff is all right, you know, and the and it works and everything like that, and it's up to sort of your standards. You can get really good gear second hand, both on the hi-fi market and the audio production market. You just have to look and you know be vigilant on what you're going to buy. Otherwise, you'll either get you won't necessarily get ripped off, but you'll buy something that doesn't work or doesn't work properly, and then you'll be stuck in a
That's very
situation
true.
where you're like
I,
shit, you know.
I would say you get more bang for your buck in the hi-fi world than you like old stuff in
Yeah,
the hi-fi world than you would for studio monitor stuff
you
because
do.
when you find studio things, they normally have software backing them up, and out-of-date software in a studio isn't very useful.
No,
But
exactly.
with
Yeah,
hi-fi equipment, they're normally just speakers that plug into an amplifier. You can't really get outdated speakers; they just work. They either
yeah,
work or they don't. That's what speaker is. So definitely, if you want to buy something that's old, I would say stay away. Not stay away from unless you know what it is that what you're doing and what you're buying,
yeah,
but be more cautious of gear that is for studio uses because outdated stuff for studios isn't really useful in many senses.
yeah,
But for hi-fi, it doesn't really matter if it's outdated. It still works the same as it would when it was new back then as it will now. Unless you want something like a 4K amplifier and all of that stuff,
yeah,
then
exactly. Yeah,
then maybe do that. But you can still get old speakers and they'll still work as well as they did when they were new if they're a good brand or whatever, or they're solid,
yeah.
reliable and all that stuff. Because I've got old speakers and they still wow me today.
Yeah, I mean, it's with everything, to be honest, as far as the software and stuff. I mean, this interface, yes, it's an old one. However, I remember we used one extremely similar to this when I was at college, and that was only about it was 3 years ago. And we paired that with a brand new Apple trash can Mac thing, and it worked absolutely perfectly. So you just have to be careful again with what you're buying and, you know, outdated software and, you know, what it is, just because unless you know what you're looking at specifically, then I'd say don't buy it unless it's really cheap. Just simply because there's a high chance it won't work, and it's the same with like anything like computer related. Because these things, although they're audio, like an audio interface, it's a piece of computer hardware at the same time. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously it has like stuff that's to do with speakers, stuff that's doing microphones, and stuff that's doing computers. You just have to be careful when buying stuff for computers because some
I,
stuff's not compatible, and that's just sort of the way the world is. And you know, you just be
I'll
careful.
say it's probably just a bias viewer,
Yeah,
unless you don't know what you're doing, don't do it. Like,
yeah,
simple
yeah,
as that.
exactly. Like,
We've been doing this shit, picking stuff from old barns and, finding crap in garages and
yeah,
retrofitting it to make it work again. Like, this is our kind of domain, man. Like, I
yeah,
remember
I've
doing
done
that
it. Yeah,
back in the day with Clem, when you used to have a sound bar.
yeah, yeah,
Anyway.
exactly. Yeah, you just make stuff
Oh,
work, you
mate.
know.
Yeah, literally, you just make things happen. It's just speakers are speakers at the end of the day. As long as you wire it to something that gives it power, it'll work.
Exactly.
It's not
Yeah.
hard.
No. Yeah.
But I do think that we've learned something today, and I think that is that if you want to get scammed, go on eBay.
Yeah, yeah. If you do want stuff, then I mean, eBay's a good place for it. Just be very careful what you're buying. And to be honest, it's been that way with eBay since day one. To be honest, it's still that case today, but it's slightly better today because you get a bit more like safety net when buying stuff. But it is just be careful about what you're buying and where you're buying it from, and just because you can get scammed or you can get ripped off or anything like that very easily.
Definitely.
And it's just again, you are buying a product. It's not from like an official distributor like Amazon or anyone like that. You don't know
I
that
don't
what
even
you're
trust
getting is
Amazon.
what it is. No, I don't
They
either.
conned
Because
me,
yeah,
man.
yeah, no, the whole thing with Amazon is that when you buy a product from them, if it's say you bought a pair of headphones, they basically pull all the distributors
That's a
and where
bad
they get them from
example.
and put them in one box and they send you one of them. So you don't know whether you're
Yeah.
getting it directly from say you're buying a pair of Bear Dynamics like I did. You don't know whether you're getting it sent from Bear Dynamic or whether it's been sent from another distributor or something like that. That could be a fake one because they all get bundled up in the same issue, and that's one issue that I did have. I bought a pair of Bear Dynamics on Amazon and they were fake. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, because I felt them and I thought, oh, they're slightly, cheap. And I thought, oh, maybe it's, whatever. And I plugged it in and yeah, there was definitely a lot wrong with them. So they got sent back. And then I went to a place and bought it from a place to get it specifically from Bear Dynamic themselves. Shout out Absolute Music down in Bournemouth. I went down there,
Oh,
and
nice.
they're absolutely brilliant, absolutely fantastic service. They even they opened a pair out of the box. This was pre-COVID, everything like that. Quite a long time before COVID. They opened up a pair out of the box and they said, go and sit over there by the MacBooks. There's a MacBook there. You can get your phone or whatever. You get your iPad or whatever out. Listen to them. Take as long as you need, and then come and tell us if you want to buy them or not. So that's what I did, and they're the headphones that I'm wearing now. So I sat down there and I wore them. And I was like, yeah, they feel a lot more premium than those cheap ones, on Amazon.
Oh, yeah.
And so I felt them. I listened to them, and I was like, yeah, these are the headphones that I really like. So I went and bought them, and they were about 105 quid, which if you look at now, it was a pretty good price at the time, to be fair. And
Oh, it's a bloody good price.
they're literally the front. So they've gone from Germany to that store because that's their warehouse as well. They've gone from Germany to the store, like to my hands basically. So
That's sick,
it's as
dude.
good as you can, yeah. And this is why I'd say look at if you're looking to buy something reasonably expensive or something that's slightly can be scammed or can be broken or whatever. Have a look at who the website's official distributors are, or have a look at the sort of seller's website and see whether they are listed as a official distributor, because that way that you're going to get a product that is real, whether it be broken or not. That's to do with postage and stuff like that. But if you get an official distributor, it's not always possible, but if it is, then that's brilliant. Then you've got definitely a quality product there, and it should be as good as ever really where you can buy it from. It's as good as possible.
I definitely agree. Try and always find some kind of place that you know for a fact, even if it is expensive, you prefer to pay a little bit more,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
make sure that the product you're getting is good
It's the
quality.
the
Like,
official product. Yeah.
for instance, I get most of my stuff from either a local store that I know that does good hi-fi gear,
Mm.
or Richer Sounds,
Yeah. Richer
which
sounds are
are
brilliant. Yeah.
pretty big company. Yeah, they do charge a bit more than I'd like though, because they just can,
They
because
do.
they're a
Yeah.
big company.
Yeah. I've noticed. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I don't really mind. Right. Anyway, at the end of the day, what is your total, Clem?
My total is £95 and 68p, and I love how we've just done a video on £100 setup, and then we've gone and said make sure that you buy stuff from official distributors whilst we've been
Yep.
using eBay. No,
Yeah, basically, what we've done is just this video is useless. If you've got
Yeah.
this far, why?
Yeah, beggars can't be choosers though, and I mean obviously people that aren't in brilliant financial situations, you got to start off somewhere, and I mean this is the best way you're going to do it. Just
It
spend
is definitely.
time. Say time is money sometimes, but if you have free time, then just look stuff up, because if you look stuff up, you do your research, you can get really good products second hand, and there's nothing wrong with doing that at all. I've got second hand stuff that my audio keyboard linked to my Quit board, that Oxygen one, that was second hand. I bought that second hand. It still works. It's worked absolutely fine. I just needed a bigger keyboard for composing. That was absolutely fine though. It worked perfectly.
So yours was 50, no, 93
90,
pound.
£95 68. So I have, what is it, like £4
Couple for
42? Yeah, £4 42 or something like that.
You got a whole box of Freddos from Pound Shop, mate. Like
Yeah,
that's mad.
yeah, basically. Yeah,
Anyway, so yours was 95 quid, we call it, right?
yeah, good night 5. Yeah,
I think mine was about 104.
yeah.
But out of the two of them, I honestly would say I'd pick mine,
Within
even though
10
it's 4
quid.
quid more expensive.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, I as far as like listening to music, I'd 100% pick yours. It'd be way better, But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, for music production, yeah. I mean, again, they're different benefits, to different people, and we're trying to apply to different markets here, Which
That's
is
why we
brilliant
do
because,
two each episode.
yeah,
Because we
there
are
are
two different
yeah.
people and we're from
Yeah,
different backgrounds. So what
exactly.
we think might not be what you think. But Clem has a pretty good idea of what's good studio-wise. And I would say I've got a pretty good idea of what's good for hi-fi. So
Exactly, yeah.
together, with our mixed backgrounds, we come up with some pretty cool shit. And I
Yeah, and
think
we
this
also
episode was a good demonstration of that.
yeah, we cross over as well sometimes. There are some products that we go out there and say, yeah, that's 100% brilliant. And
Yeah, and it
again, this
turns out
is
to be good for both.
yeah, we want to, like, obviously we want to, as the Audio Bros podcast and as our whole channel, we want to obviously, we don't want to be just a hi-fi channel or just a studio channel or just this, just that. We want to expand to other stuff. Obviously we're from our our sort of backgrounds from audio, but at exactly the same time, we want to apply to different markets as well as our own, and we want to make sure we're as like expandable as possible to make sure that
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys get so we so obviously so we can bring in more of you guys, and you guys can listen, and there's some useful information there for you, and it's not just a load of crud just from
I
one
mean,
channel and one-sided views.
I mean, that's why in the intro we say where we discuss all things audio.
Yeah,
So it's because we do. We discuss all things
all
audio.
things audio.
Anything
Yeah,
audio related, we will cover. If you guys have any questions or any comments about today's episode, please let us know in the comments down below. And thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.